What is going on, my G's? This right here is the Karma Revero. That's right, this is the Revero made by Karma. It's a hybrid, it's $130,000. It looks insane, yet it's one of the weirdest cars I've ever driven in my life. Let me tell you why. Let's get to know it. Say, my G's, it's very important that we understand that car that we're looking at. Who is the buyer? What's the clientele? Why they built it? And did they hit those marks? Because it's really important that they do, especially when creating a product. Now, this car that we're looking at right now, it's a car originally created by Fisker. So this used to be a Fisker car. Fisker started delivering these cars in late 2011, and by 2013, the company was already out of business. For those not familiar with Henrik Fisker is a badass car designer. He created the Z8, he designed the Vantage, he designed this beautiful car, and obviously other cars like the Galpin Rocket that you guys have seen. His design abilities unquestionable. Now, this man became the CEO of his own company and wanted to run it and all of that. I think this is where Fisker got a couple problems, because I gotta be completely honest and come clean here, guys. This might be one of the worst cars I've ever driven in my life. And I don't mean this, and I don't want to make this video just bashing the car. And I'm making this video just so that you guys understand and see where product goes wrong and why. At least to my opinion. You guys can watch this video and tell me, you know what, dude, I love the car. It's phenomenal. Kudos to you guys. So again, Fisker went out of business 2013. So a few years went by, and I think 3 years ago, in 2015, 2016, a new company from China bought Fisker. So they bought the company for, I believe, only $20 million, which is amazing considering that 2 weeks before Fisker went out of business, I was having a meeting with someone in Canada who works for a fund in the Middle East. And that guy was like, hey man, we're bringing Fisker to the Middle East. Do you want to invest with us? We're going to put $150 million into it. Do you want to be a partner? Number one, thank you for thinking that I have $150 million. Number two, I knew everything that was going on with Fisker. I was like, no, I'm pretty sure they're going to go out of business. The guy is like, they're never going to go out of business. Fisker's a great designer. I was like, yeah, but the cars are shit, right? And he goes, no, they're fixing them. Because the cars used to be produced in Finland first, and now the production was moved to California. So either way, I ended up not investing the money that I didn't have. Thank God, 2 weeks later, Fisker went under. So timing was perfect. Thank God I didn't have any money. Thank God I didn't put any money, and I knew better. But that comes to show you how fragile this thing is. And the reason why they went out of business, and the main reason was their battery supplier went out of business. So if you're starting a business and a company without a solid partner that can provide you with technology or whatever you're buying from them for years and years in the future, you're not seeing ahead and you're just thinking short term. That was one of the problems that this company had, and this is why they went out of business. The build quality of the car is another problem. Either way, a few years went by, a Chinese company bought him for $20 million. They brought him to California, and now the Karma Revero was born. And now I want to show you the whole car so you guys can see where I think they missed the mark. So let's get started with the outside, because that is start right here from the outside, which is the most beautiful thing about this car. And hang on, before I jump into let's look at the outside, you guys gotta know what's inside of this hood right here. So they have a 4-cylinder engine and a battery motor that together produce 400 horsepower to move this beast. That weighs about 5,000 to 5,500 pounds. That's a very heavy car for 400 horsepower if you think about it. But that's no here nor there. This car drives kind of weird and very different from everything else that's out there. So once I get in the car and drive it, I'll explain to you how that works. Right now, let's just focus on the beautiful detail of the design, which is what Henrik Fisker is amazing at. Look at the design of this car. It even looks like he's got a happy mustache on it. It's legitimately one of the most beautiful cars I've ever seen in my life. No one in the office can take their eyes off of the car. And also the paint that they selected for the car is absolutely gorgeous. There's so much depth to it, like so much. I feel like this would be something that Aston Martin should get into, like a paint with that much, I don't know how to say it, it's so rich, if you will. And now look at the back. The design just follows through the whole thing. It's a 4-door car. I know that some people don't see the second door in the back, but it's a 4-door car. It's beautiful. And the one thing that you'll notice immediately is that there are no exhausts on the back. And where are the exhausts? Because it still has a 4-cylinder engine. They put them right here. Kind of like a G-Wagon, kind of like a Viper. They look super, super cool. So design-wise, the car didn't have a single problem. This is one of the most beautiful cars ever made. I honestly think so. Well done, Fisker. Another very specific detail to this car is right here, the solar panels. You guys see them on the roof? So these obviously solar panels are to absorb energy and use them for the car. So he charges the 12-volt battery and also the hybrid system. Now, the weird thing, and actually not the weird thing, but what these panels promise is that they can recharge, I think, about 500 miles of range in a year. That means if you're putting the car outside every single day, you're going to get an extra 500 miles out of the car. Now, for those people who are environmentalists and care about that, that's great. But performance-wise, that is not much. But at least they tried. It's right here, and this is one of the unique features about this car. And before we get in the car, let me show you guys the key. What do you think about it? In Mexico, we had a chocolate candy called the Bubulubu, and it kind of looks like that. I'm not a big fan, and also these buttons are hard to tell which one's open and which one's closed. I know this one's the open one, but the other day when we got the car, we were trying to figure out like quick, and it honestly, we had to double, triple take it. I'm not a massive fan of the key. So this is all you need to get into the Karma Rivera, baby. Before we get in, let me show you the door, and instantly you guys gotta know that a designer made the whole car. So Fisker made this whole thing. So you're gonna see a lot of things that will not make sense. Number one, so right here to open the door, you press this button, which is kind of cool because it's right here, right? So all you need to do is this, and then the door is open. But right here, what is this? What is this beautifully weird, like see-through crystal glass thing that's by the button? And there's nothing else on the door but the afterthought of, oh shit, we forgot to put the mirrors here. And that's kind of what it feels like. It feels like they grabbed this out of a $20 car and put it in here. And also the other weird thing is how it's sideways. So this is not up, this is left, this is right. But the button, when you're in the car, it should be up, down, left, right. But it's not. You have to go like this while you're driving, and it's distracting and weird. And right before we get in, let me show you the seats, guys. Because this is really weird to me, how they made these seats. The quality of the leather is awful. They're actually really comfortable because they're just big seats. Anyone can just sit in there, and they're fluffy, so you're good to go. But the quality is just so bad, and the color scheme is just weird. It's overly designed, if that makes any sense. Like, they tried too hard because the seat at the end of the day doesn't have any personality whatsoever. It just feels bland. Like, nah. It's really weird. I'm gonna show you guys the steering wheel, but let me turn on the car because the heat is on point. So how do we turn on the car? I'm gonna step on the brake and press that button and listen to all the noises it's gonna make. They're kind of cool. See, that's another thing that I really like about this car. And now we're getting into the good part, the steering wheel. Look at that steering wheel. I honestly don't have a lot to say here. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird because according to all new steering wheels, this is already looking old as hell. And then you're looking at the logo here, which is kind of missing. It feels like the logo is missing here. Everyone said the same thing. And then you're looking at these buttons, and they look like $5 buttons. Again, this is a $130,000 car, people. And I want you to just look at the shape, look at the everything. Even just grabbing it. I'm a big car fan, and I love grabbing steering wheels. I know that sounds weird, but I really do get a kick out of holding a good steering wheel. This is not it at all. One thing I really dig about this car is that screen. It's a beautiful, simple screen, and I love the UI and the UX of it. And let me show you a few things real quick. Let me change the driving modes to sustain. It was on stealth, now it's on sustain. And then I push another time and it's on sport. How am I making these changes? I'm sure you're seeing the reflection. There are paddles right here. So instead of switching gears with these, you're gonna change your driving modes, and then your braking, your regenerative, which I can't say right, regenerative braking. It's right here. So why put those there? This is what happens when you let a designer have full control of what he's doing with the car. You're taking the pleasure out of driving the car and the standard of how we all drive it to say, my way is better, this is what these should be for, and you're not here to drive this car like a proper driver car. That's a mistake. That's not a positive. And I think that's not a good thing. Now, these nice little buttons and the simplicity of it is amazing. These are to unlock and lock the car. These are your hazards, and this right here boop, opens that. So, simplicity at its finest. Honestly, that is great. Another thing I really liked about this car is the system that they put in here for the infotainment system. So it's very responsive, it's very quick, it's very snappy, it's beautifully designed, it goes really well with the design of the car, which you don't get to see that often, and it looks futuristic, it looks different. I like it. I appreciate these things. I appreciate when you guys get this right. This is really hard to get right, and I can't believe a small car maker got it right. So kudos to you guys. And then from these items of design that I really enjoy, look at this one. They enclose this whole area. It's see-through. It's kind of glass, but it's crystal. You guys see the reflection there from the sun. It blinds you when it hits it in the right direction. So you kind of need to put a shirt, your hat on, whatever it is that you're gonna do. It does light up for design, so it does serve a purpose. Look at it. It'll light up like with every button that you press. But the reality is, this is more inconvenient than beautiful, unless it's nighttime. And now we're going from this element of design into something that, again, it's epic. Right here, you have your Christmas tree, which is what I like to call it. Drive, neutral, reverse, and parking. It doesn't get any better than that. It's so simple, easy at your fingertips. Again, just right here. Your windows are right underneath it. It's not confusing, you know them. Front windows, back windows, your window lock. And then you have 2 cup holders. These elements of design are seriously awesome. But what about this, for example? You see what I'm saying? Like, these are great. And this right here, that gap right there, you feel the metal like right here where the door ends. It feels like it's open. You guys see how poorly it's done? And another thing we gotta talk about here is the cabin is kind of weird. It's too small. There's too many big things inside of it just for the hell of it. Like this fucking huge thing. And it's in the way, and I get it. Right now in the front's not that bad. But let me take you to the back and you'll see what I'm talking about. And that right there is normally how I sit in a car. So I'm the passenger. I didn't move the seat to put it like further away or anything. That's how I sit in the car. And this is me here in the back. You guys see how tight that space is? And on top of that, he added that console that goes all the way back here, which, don't get me wrong, the console is beautiful. The fact that I have my butt warmers right there and my windows are great and 2 cup holders are great right here. But then again, I don't have any space whatsoever for myself and to exist back here. And again, we're talking about designers, right? We're talking about making a product with a purpose. You're building a car for 4 people that cannot sit 4 people comfortably. Look, I take off my hat, and if I'm legit, like, we're going on a road trip, I can't use this entire side of the car. Like, that's weird. That's weird. You're building a 4-door car for 4 people. And again, I know, like, for example, when Porsche puts 2 seats on the back that no one can fit, they're just doing it for insurance. When the Hellcat does that, he's doing it for insurance. It's a 2-door car. This is a 4-door car for 4 people to ride luxuriously through shit. That ain't the feeling I'm getting back here. Honestly. I am not making this up. I just got locked up in this car in the back seat. I need Buddy, and thank God I have my phone with me, because I already tried with the locks there, and it didn't open my door. So, Buddy, I need help. And also, it'd be ideal if you can open the back doors by yourself when you're sitting here. I can't move either, which is another big problem.
What's up, dude?
I am locked up in the back seat of the car, and I can't move around. I can't open any other door, and I can't get out.
Alright, I'm coming.
Thank you. Please! It doesn't open from the inside, dude. And I took off like the safety and whatever.
Where's the child lock?
It's on the front.
Child lock it.
I don't know if you can touch it from there, but it's on the front. It's really weird. Look at how I need to get out.
What a mess. What a mess.
So I always say, if you're watching one of these videos, the reason why you're watching is because you want to understand the car, and you should, and that's exactly right. So I'm here to tell you what the car maker, Karma itself, is saying about the car. What should we expect from the car? And then we're going to go out, drive it, and you'll let me know if you think that got accomplished. So right here, this is something I pulled exactly from their website, word for word. Their review is about feel, not numbers. No knowledge of its 0 to 60 time will help you define its allure. We can, and will quote impressive vehicle technical specs, but for right now, we would rather state our performance story differently. We have enough to move you in every way. Okay, so that's what they're saying. They're saying, this is not a 0 to 60 car, this is not a sports car. This is a car that will move me as we go. This is a car that will give me a different experience from everything else. So let's go drive it, and let's go find out if it does. Now that we're we're driving the car, we can get into the why did they make it, what is exactly what they were trying to go for, and to really get to know the car and how it feels and how it behaves, so make a proper assessment based on what they said. Which so far we've only heard about don't worry about the performance. The allure of the car is not in the performance, it's in everything else. When you're driving the car, you'll find it, you'll know what it is. Okay, let's do it. And piece by piece, they also mentioned on their website a few of the things that make up that allure. So I want to give you exactly one by one what they attacked on their website, and let's talk about them. Number one, they're talking about this car is not about performance. Absolutely understood. But one thing they do brag about on their performance is their torque. So let's see how that does. The other thing that they talk about is regenerative braking. I think I said it right at the end, and maybe I did, but that's what they talk about. They say that if you drive the car less than 50 miles a day, you'll never have to charge it because the gas engine always recharges the car, and regeneration in the battery and the systems is great. Okay, so that's the second. The third, they're also talking about drivability and how this is more of a GT and a big cruiser and very comfortable and well planted. They talk about all those things. Now, before we start going into each one of those, let me explain to you how this car works so that you guys understand what we're looking at. This is a hybrid. It's got 2 electric motors and a 4-cylinder engine, right? This doesn't work like in a 918 where all of the motors, everything works together to give you a fuck you amount of power to go off the line. They do not work like that. This is more of a sustainable car, if you will. With that said, this car weighs 5,000 to 5,500 pounds, which is insane for 400 horsepower, but should still be pretty good because it's electric and it's got the other motor, right? The other thing, the paddle's behind the wheel. So on my left, the left paddle, the one that normally works for downshifting, doesn't do that. It changes the modes that I'm driving the car on. So right now I'm on stealth mode. You can't hear anything. It drives like a full electric car. That click should tell you we're in sustainable mode. I'm gonna floor it again. Okay? And you guys saw that. And now, that lets me put it in sport. So now I'm gonna floor it to feel that great high torque performance. And this is the problem. The torque doesn't come in at any point where you're like, whoa! It just never comes. And then that thing, the 4-cylinder engine is not there to push the car either. It's unfortunately to recharge the battery, and it sounds like a lawnmower. Like someone's out there with a lawnmower, like probably a few feet away from the car and you can't see them. That's not hitting the mark at all. This is flooring the car. It's so slow. It's so slow. Then on the right, I have my paddles for the braking so that it can regenerative braking on the right side. So I'm on level 3 right now, which is the most hardcore. So on a Tesla, when you put it on 3 and you let off the gas, it feels like it's braking. This is killing your coasting a little bit. It's not really doing a lot of that. So I'm not entirely sure why this is a thing that they're bragging about on their car when any other car maker does it better right now that's electric. I'm sorry, guys. Now, they're talking about the allure, the appeal of the car, like how sexy it is and all that stuff. Great looking car, but it has many manufacturing problems. Now, it's talking about it's a great GT. It is not a great GT. I can hear the outside. The lawnmower comes in and kicks in whenever it feels like it. The suspension is not a delicious suspension. It feels way cheaper than a Lincoln. And now, the Continental suspension felt amazing, so let me not put it in the same category. This is like the entry-level shittiest Lincoln from back in the day. The cabin is quiet, but not very quiet. And again, you can still hear the engine. They missed on every single mark that they were going for, every single thing that they're bragging about on their website. Now, we're talking about design. Even the design is Fisker's, but Karma came in and put the little new logo on the car, which, by the way, I really like. It's hand painted and then it's autographed on the back and then they put it on the car. That's cool. That's handmade. It's showing you that they care. Yet, when I pulled into the office, everyone goes, that is the shittiest logo I've ever seen in my life. So let's just say that things didn't go well with this car whatsoever. It doesn't do any of the car things well. The one thing it does for Karma is it puts them in the map as a car maker. Now Karma is a legitimate car maker that's banging out cars, that has sales, that needs support for their vehicles and all that stuff. And the reason why this didn't come together well for them was because they bought a line already from Fisker that already existed, something that Fisker had already invested in. And here's the big lesson that I want to teach you guys today with this video, because I hate doing negative videos. I don't drive cars that I don't like, and this is why whenever I get in a car, everyone's like, oh, you're being sponsored, Alejandro. You like every single car. I don't. I only drive cars that I like so that I can pass on the message to you that I'm enjoying them. Giving you guys negative comments doesn't take me anywhere. And I just want to help out, hopefully Karma, with some feedback and criticism on their car. But I want to help you guys too the most, because this is all about business. Fisker got into the car making business being a designer, a fucking awarded designer, a crazy talented designer. Yet he wanted to be a car maker, so he put himself in the position of CEO, engineer, and pretty much everything. So when you look at this car, the only thing that shows is design. So that means you're putting business as second, and then you're putting driving as third. Or you can swap them however you want. And that's not good. And also marketing at fourth, because you can't market a car that doesn't do any of the things that you want it to do. So the example comes here. If I'm a guy that has a lot of money and makes a lot of money investing, say I'm like one of those guys that you see on Instagram all the time that are investors. And I invested on Twitter, on Instagram, and I killed it for years, right? Destroyed it. And I made so much money, and I'm really good at investing. And now that I have the money, I want to open a taco restaurant. I want to give people the greatest tacos ever. Yet I don't cook, obviously. So I got all this money, and then I'm going to meet another guy that has a lot more money than me. So am I going to go and partner up with him to open my taco place? No. This is what's blocking this from working. What Fisker should have done is hired a guy that makes amazing fucking tacos already. Someone that makes the taco so prime that you can just come in, give him the money, build the place, and make it fucking go on fire. This business will never work with two guys with money making tacos. It'll work with an expert, the best taco maker in the world, and my money. So it's very important that whenever you're partnering up with someone, whenever you're collaborating with someone, whenever you're getting into a relationship with someone, that person brings something else to the table that you don't. It's awesome to get along with people when you have shit in common and things to talk about because you love the same things, but it's amazing and it's fucking epic when you can get that, and on top of that, the other person has talents that you lack, and you can contribute with other talents that you bring to the table. When that happens, magic gets made. And that's unfortunately not what happened here. I hope Karma kills it in the future. I hope their second car, whatever car that is that they make, destroys all of these pre-made problems that they basically inherited from buying the company from Fisker. They did, however, get an amazing deal on the company because they only purchased it for like 20, 30 million. So they're not doing too bad. I'm sure that they're gonna up the quality on everything that they're making, up the performance, and obviously make more sense of the car for the people that want to buy it. And before I go, I want to leave you with a question. What are the things that you would change to make this an epic car? I would go either full electric or full with a V8, a powerful engine, and make it more of a sports car. I wouldn't just go with a luxury car thing because you don't fit in the back. A luxury car cannot have 4 doors and the back won't work. Like the Rapide from Aston Martin showed us that doesn't work. What will you do to make this car work? Please let me know in the comments down below. As always, guys, my name is Alejandro, and I do not approve this message. Thank you so very much for watching, and I appreciate your time. People, I'll see you guys later. Thank you.